Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Collector John again. I was trying to think of a fun idea for this intro and all I could think of was drinking boba tea and coffee at the same time. Oh, that was gross. Tasted like strawberry flavored dirt. Oh yeah, I got this wireless microphone, so now I can walk around the Collector John studio and I can do cool stuff while I keep talking to you. I can turn on this Sega Dreamcast. Here we go. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, that's too loud. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, I'm Collector John. Thanks so much for being here with me today. We're going to be doing something pretty fun today. We're just going to go to a couple video game stores and look for some video games. I feel like we haven't really done just a classic chill game hunting video in a while, so I felt like making one of those. It should be pretty fun. It's going to be really just anxiety-free and chill. We're just going to be walking around a couple video game stores and looking at video games, talking about video games, reminiscing on video games. And yeah, we'll probably buy a couple things too, but I'm not gonna spend a ton of money because I'm not about spending a ton of money all the time in my videos. So yeah, we're gonna hit up 3 different Wisconsin video game stores that I really like and just buy a couple things from each of them. Our first game store is gonna be Gaming Generations in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. So without further ado, let's get into it, baby. And it's a beautiful evening here in Stevens Point, Wisconsin to hit up one of my favorite game stores in the state, Gaming Generations. I went to school in Stevens Point, so when I was in college, I came here a lot, hunting for retro games. Didn't have a lot of money back in those days, but it was still fun to hang out in the store. And as you can see, it's still a really nice place to be. They have a great selection of games and other cool stuff. I pretty much always find something good in here when I come visit, so yeah, let's take a look around and see if we can find anything cool. We're going to start off here in the Xbox 360 section. I absolutely love collecting for the Xbox 360. If you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you already know that. It's just a console that I'm really nostalgic for, and the prices on Xbox 360 games are still really solid at the moment. Anyway, I immediately spotted this copy of Bullet Witch. This is an Xbox 360 game that I don't have. I don't really know much about it, but it looks like kind of a cool character action game, maybe like fairly Bayonetta inspired. And this copy was complete with the manual for $35. Definitely a pricier Xbox 360 game, but might be a cool one to pick up today. They also had this game, El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron. This is another 360 game that I don't have. I don't really know anything about this. It seems to be some kind of Japanese action role-playing game kind of thing. If you've played this, let me know. It looks interesting. I don't know if I'll pick it up today, but it definitely looks cool. Speaking of stuff that looks cool, they had a Fallout 3 and Oblivion double pack. I don't have this. I have no reason to buy it other than it's just kind of a strange novelty. I already own both of these games individually, but just this double pack thing is kind of cool and funny, so I don't know. Again, probably not going to grab this, but it's just something that looked interesting to me. Here's another cult classic, Lollipop Chainsaw. I feel like I hear people talk about this a lot more on the PS3 than they do the Xbox 360 version. And I feel like this goes kind of hand in hand with that Bullet Witch game. Like, it's a character action game. It's kind of a B game in terms of the budget for it. So this could be another interesting pickup, but let's see what else we can find here today. They definitely had a really healthy Xbox 360 section here. A lot of cool stuff. A lot of stuff that I unfortunately already have. My Xbox 360 collection is getting rather huge, so I already have most of these. I don't have Metal Gear Solid HD Collection on the 360, but I do have it on the PS3, so it would be cool to own this 360 version, but I really don't need it. I'm just going to stick with my PS3 version for now. Soldier of Fortune Payback. This was a series that I played a lot on PC back in the day. I played a lot of Soldier of Fortune 2, Double Helix. Real disgusting game, just like blowing people's legs off and stuff. I don't know. Operation Flashpoint was another series that I played a lot of on PC. I've never played this 360 version, so this could be interesting to check out. It's not something that I'm feeling super passionate about today, though, so I think we're going to leave that one behind as well. And then right next to Operation Flashpoint, I spotted this game, One Chunbara Bikini Samurai Squad. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. You can let me know if I'm wrong. Yeah, another weird budget character action game with a female protagonist kind of thing. I looked up the review for this game on GameSpot.com, and they gave it a 2.5 out of 10, so it seems like maybe not a great game, but still a cool thing to see. And they had a pretty solid selection of Nintendo Switch games here. I wanted to see if there was anything worth picking up. I saw they had Shin Megami Tensei 5 for $25. That seems like a pretty decent price for this game. I'm familiar with this series, kind of starts and ends with Persona. Like, I'm a lot more familiar with the Persona games than I am with Shin Megami Tensei. So I'm probably not going to grab this today. I might get that one eventually when it's a little cheaper. They also had WarioWare Get It Together, another one that I'm interested in. I heard that these WarioWare games on the Switch aren't that great. So again, I might just wait till this one goes down in price a little bit more before I pick it up. They also had Persona 5 Tactica. This game looks pretty cool. I've heard really good things about it. I feel like the art style kind of turns me off a little bit. Like it's this really chibi art style that just kind of, I don't love it. But it does seem like a really cool game. Another one that I don't think I'll pick up today, but it is on the list to grab eventually. And then also Owlboy. I already own this digitally on the Switch. It is a really cool like Metroidvania style platformer. The art style is really, really beautiful. For $22, this might actually be a really good pickup. I think we might grab this one, but we'll see what else we can find. All right, we got to check out that original Xbox section. It's my favorite console. I freaking love the original Xbox. They had this game Rogue Trooper, which I actually see at another store that we go to in this video. And I keep looking at it because it's one of those original Xbox games that I don't have, but it also just doesn't look that super interesting to me, so I don't know. This looks interesting, though. Scarface, The World Is Yours. This game definitely went way up in price at some point. I feel like $40 is high for any original Xbox game. This one didn't have the manual, so I think we're going to pass on it. I was also looking at this copy of Super Monkey Ball Deluxe for some reason. I just feel like I think of this game as a GameCube game, and I think owning it on the original Xbox would be fun. So this could be a cool Xbox pickup. We'll see what happens. I saw they had a copy of Commandos 2 Men of Courage, another series that I played a lot on PC back in the day. And I think Commandos 2 is probably my favorite one. I feel like playing it on the original Xbox would be fun. This was a nice complete copy as well. I think it was like $8 or $9 for this, so... But yeah, these games are really fun and unique. They're kind of like real-time strategy, stealth tactics games is how I would describe them, where you play as a bunch of different characters, and I don't know, they're really cool and worth checking out for sure. Another one I spotted that I was interested in, Tomb Raider Legend. This was the reboot of the Tomb Raider series, which also came out on the 360. I'm actually really interested in this, I'm not going to lie. I'm also really interested in this Wallace and Gromit game, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. I just want to know what this is. I've never played a Wallace and Gromit game, and I used to love those cartoons, so... I just want to see what this is all about. I don't know, it looks cool. I want to play as Gromit, the claymation dog, and do fun dog stuff. They had an entire section in the store dedicated to motion peripherals, which I thought was kind of fun. You see they had a PlayStation Move controller here, a bunch of PlayStation Move games. It's fun seeing all this stuff together. I don't know, because a lot of these games are just so forgettable, and then you see all of them together, and you're like, oh yeah, they put out like a ton of games that were PlayStation Move compatible. That's really weird. This Time Crisis Raising Storm collection is pretty cool. I don't know if this is something I'm going to grab today, but that is one that I do want to pick up eventually. Down on the bottom shelf here, they had a complete in box DDR Ultramix 3-pack for the original Xbox for $35. This would be another cool thing to have. I definitely don't need it at all. I don't need to spend $35 on this, but I don't know. Cool original Xbox accessories, complete in the box. I love stuff like this. And then, of course, they had all of these Xbox 360 Connect games. And again, I just really like seeing all this stuff together for some reason. I really like these purple cases that they come in. I find those kind of appealing to look at. And I have a few games on Connect. I don't have a ton. I'm definitely not going to buy any of these today, but it's just cool to see like an entire section of a game store dedicated to Connect stuff, and just seeing like, wow, they really were supporting this Connect thing for a while, weren't they? That's kind of crazy to think about. And then over in the glass case, they had a few like slightly pricier PS1 games that I'm not really interested in buying today. They had some sick-looking PS2 horror games. I'm not going to buy any of these. I can't really afford to buy stuff like this. But I still love seeing it in a game store, seeing a complete in-a-box copy of Silent Hill 3, Clock Tower 3. That stuff is pretty awesome, for sure. They also had a really solid selection of Sega Dreamcast games here, and I really am starting to feel like I want to start collecting for the Sega Dreamcast. Like, I was looking at this copy of Grandia 2. This is a game that I did play a long time ago. I think I had it on PC, which... It is weird to think about this game being on PC, but that is the version that I played when I was younger. But this Dreamcast version just looked sick. Like, all of the artwork in the jewel case looked awesome. This manual was amazingly well put together, and all of the artwork just looks so good in here. And this is absolutely something I would like to have, but I'm not ready to start collecting for the Dreamcast yet. It is pretty expensive in terms of what I usually like to spend on my collecting, so... I'm sleeping on it for now, but I'm definitely starting to think about it a little more, that I might want to start collecting Dreamcast games. So yeah, this Alone in the Dark double jewel case was also looking really cool. Also a $50 game. Honestly, like $50 for a horror game on a weird console like the Dreamcast doesn't seem that bad. I wanted to check the price on this copy of Evil Dead, Hail to the King, which I have on the PlayStation 1. This is actually cheaper than what I paid for the PS1 version, and that's probably a better version of the game. So that's actually kind of making me reevaluate things a little bit right now. Nightmare Creatures 2 for $30. That's, these prices aren't that bad. Yeah, I didn't buy any of these today, but I think in future videos we're definitely going to start buying some Dreamcast games. I'm starting to get excited about it. All right, so that was Gaming Generations. I really like that store a lot. I go there like pretty much every time that I'm heading up north from Milwaukee up to my hometown. I hit up Gaming Generations. I just think it's a really fun store to hang out in. And yeah, we ended up buying 2 games in there. Again, I'm not looking to spend a ton of money on these stops. I just like going to video game stores because it relaxes me and makes me feel good, even if I'm not spending a ton of money. So let's go over what I picked up really quick. So first of all, we ended up buying Lara Croft Tomb Raider Legend, which is, I think this was the reboot of the series on 6th gen consoles. It also came out on 7th gen consoles. There was an original Xbox version and an Xbox 360 version of this game. I'm not sure if this came out on PlayStation 3 or not. I think there was a PS2 version. I'm just pulling all this information out of my so it could be completely wrong. You can let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. That's fine. What I do know about this game, though, that's actually really interesting is the original Xbox version runs at 60 frames per second, and the Xbox 360 version doesn't. Yeah, the Xbox 360 version, it has a lot more detail in the environments. It runs at a higher resolution, but it also runs at 30 frames per second. And honestly, that kind of makes me feel like I'd rather have this version. And also, this is the one that I rented when I was a kid, so I played this version. I don't think I ever played the Xbox 360 version. But I really like this game a lot. It's a really good Tomb Raider game. As far as like 6th gen Tomb Raider games go, I think a lot of those were pretty not great. But this one's actually really good and really fun. Crystal Dynamics did a really good job rebooting this one. And yeah, pretty good pickup for $6. It was complete with the manual and everything, so pretty stoked on Tomb Raider Legend. And then the other game we grabbed from Gaming Generations was Bullet Witch, which they had for $35, and again, this was complete with the manual as well. And I have played some of this since I picked it up, and let me tell you, this game, how do I describe it? You know when you go to the Dollar Tree and they have those like bins full of dollar movies that aren't real movies, and you're like, where did this come from? Like, who is making these movies? That's kind of how this game feels to me. And unfortunately not in a good way. Like, I was really looking forward to this. I thought it seemed like kind of a cool budget character action game, and I thought there'd be some interesting stuff to it. But it's really not that interesting to play at all. It's like a pretty standard third-person shooter. I wouldn't even really call it a character action game. Character action games, they're like generally really fast. You have some really interesting movement options. There'll be like a really extensive list of upgrades to unlock, and this game has like some of that, but it's mostly just running around and shooting stuff from a third-person perspective. And there's also like a really basic melee attack. There's some spells that you can cast, but the spell menu is incredibly cumbersome. You have to like press the left bumper over and over again to cycle through the different levels of the spell menu, and it's just not a very good system. Also, the frame rate's pretty bad. It's definitely running at less than 30 most of the time, and it's not a good looking game at all. So yeah, it definitely feels like Dollar Tree Bayonetta to me or something. It's really not very good. As far as like a collector's piece for the 360, you know, it's an interesting game to have. It's not one that I think a lot of people bought, which is why it's a $35 360 game. But I was really hoping for a lot more from it, and I'm kind of disappointed. If I had to go back, I probably would have bought Lollipop Chainsaw instead, because I think people actually like that game. So yeah, if you're trying to get like a complete Xbox 360 collection, or you just want to own interesting Xbox 360 games, you know, you can't really go wrong with this. But if you want a fun game to play, then you could probably do a lot better than Bullet Witch, honestly. So yeah, I don't know, kind of a weird pickup, but I'm still happy to have it in the collection, I guess. So yeah, those are my 2 pickups from Gaming Generations. I had a great time looking around in there. And yeah, we're gonna hit up another store now. We're gonna be heading over to Make Sense Variety Store here in Milwaukee. Let's do it, baby. All right, we're going to start off here in the PS3 section. I've just been vibing on my PS3 recently. I don't know. I wanted to see if they have any cool PS3 games that I don't have. Unfortunately, most of these I either have on the PS3 or the Xbox 360 already. I did see they had this Ico Shadow of the Colossus collection, which I have this on a disc, but I don't have the case, so I was thinking about picking that one up. They also have this Hellboy game, which looks pretty cool. I've never heard of this. I don't know if that's one that I want to grab today, but it does look pretty sweet. I like Hellboy. I don't know. And way on the bottom shelf here, they had Tales of Symphonia Chronicles for the PlayStation 3, and it was $10, which I think is a pretty solid price for this game. I like Tales of Symphonia a lot, and I think playing this PS3 version would be fun, so I think we might actually grab that one. And then they also had this Journey Collector's Edition. It was $30. I think that's a little high for this game. I would love to have a copy of Journey on the PS3 physically, but definitely not something that I need to pay $30 for right now. And here's some more PlayStation stuff for you. There's a pretty cool PlayStation neon sign there. Yeah, they have a ton of PS2 games here. Pretty solid selection. A lot of stuff that I don't have. I saw they had a copy of Dark Cloud, which is pretty sweet. This is one that I've been wanting to add to my PS2 collection for a while. Really interesting game. It's a JRPG, but it has a lot of interesting mechanics thrown into the mix, and I feel like today would be a good day to pick it up. It's $20, which isn't an amazing price, but I don't know. We'll see. I might grab this one. It's a pretty cool game. I was also pretty interested in this copy of Samurai Legend Musashi. This is a pretty late life cycle PS2 game. I think it came out in like 2005. This might be another one we grab. It is $30, which is kind of a lot, but I don't know. Maybe we'll pick that one up too. I saw they had a couple Contra games here on the PlayStation 2. They had Neo Contra, which is a 3D Contra game, and that was $25. And then they also had Contra Shattered Soldier, which was a 2D Contra game. And I think this one is a little more appealing to me, and also it's a little cheaper. I'm definitely interested in this. We might grab this one today. It looks really, really cool, and I'm interested in playing some of these 6th gen Contra games for sure. And last but not least, on the PS2, I spotted a copy of Rumble Roses over here, which is a wrestling game for perverts. So obviously this appeals to me. I feel like this was kind of their response to the Dead or Alive series. Like they wanted to make a wrestling game where you could play as a sexy lady. And that sounds like it'd actually be really fun to have in the collection, but not something that I need to spend $30 on today. And over here on the OG Xbox, my favorite console, I saw they had a few interesting things. A lot of stuff that I already have, but I don't have this game Rogue Trooper, which looks pretty cool. It's made by Rebellion, who are probably most well known for the Sniper Elite series, and they also made a couple Alien vs. Predator games. I don't know, this might be a cool pickup. We might grab this one, but we'll see what else we can find here. They had a lot of stuff down in this bottom shelf, a lot of stuff that I already have. Unfortunately, it's getting harder and harder for me to find original Xbox games that I don't already have. But I did see this game Jaeger, which I've never heard of. It's in a really grimy case, but it looks like kind of a cool like sci-fi spaceship dogfighting game. If I'm going to pay $12, I probably want a cleaner case, but that does look pretty neat. And you know we gotta check out the Xbox 360. Again, another console where I just have like almost everything. I don't have almost everything, but I feel like I have 90% of the Xbox 360 games that I'm actually interested in. But yeah, pretty decent Xbox 360 selection. This is a great console to collect for right now. If you're looking to collect for a cheap console, I highly recommend it. The PS4 is another console I've been really into collecting for right now. They didn't really have much that I was interested in though. This Aliens Fireteam Elite game for $10 was tempting, but I definitely don't need it. All right, we're back from Make Sense Variety Store. I had a great time in there. I really like that store a lot. I go there fairly often, like maybe once a month or so, and I usually find something cool in there. It's just a treasure trove of like interesting pop culture stuff. But yeah, we ended up grabbing 3 games from there today, so let's take a look and see what we got. Starting off with Tales of Symphonia. I already removed the price stickers for these, so I can't remember what I paid for them, but I'm sure that I showed that in the other footage. But yeah, this is a really good one to have. I played this game on the old GameCube back in the day. I really liked it a lot. Might have been the first JRPG that I really got into. So that's cool. Like, it's pretty special to me in that sense. And buying JRPGs like this is kind of daunting for me because I know they're just like so long. I don't know when I'm ever gonna like get around to playing Tales of Symphonia all the way through, if ever. But it is something that I'd at least mess around with, play like 5 to 10 hours of it and just get that nice hit of nostalgia, you know what I mean? And I think it's really interesting that they remastered this for the PS3. I've never played this version. I'm really interested to see what this looks like on an HD TV, as opposed to playing it on the GameCube on an old CRT like this. This is a really cool pickup. Again, I don't remember exactly what I paid for it, but I think it was like $8 or something. So that seems like a solid price for this. I'm excited to definitely check this out at some point. And next up, we have Dark Cloud for the PlayStation 2. This is a really nice complete copy. And this manual is like extremely beefy. Like, look how thick that manual is. That's a thick one. It also has like a registration card kind of thing for winning the PlayStation Underground merch. I don't know. But anyway, this is a game that my friend put me onto a while ago, and we played some of it, and I think it's really cool. It has like some base building aspects to it that I think are really interesting for the JRPG. The soundtrack was really great, and overall just like the vibe of this game was pretty awesome, and it was really fun to play. And I've been looking for a copy of this for a while, so I'm glad to finally have it in the collection for what I think was a pretty decent price. And last but not least, we grabbed Contra Shattered Soldier. This is a 2D style Contra game, but it does have 3D graphics, so it's kind of like a 2.5D game, and I really, really like how it looks on my CRT back here. Yeah, I played through a couple levels of this, and again, I love how it looks, but the thing that I really appreciate about it is that it has difficulty levels. Because I haven't really played any of the old Contra games, all I really know about them is that they're extremely difficult. This one has a few different difficulty options to choose from, and I was playing through it on easy, and I still thought it was fairly challenging, even on easy, but I was able to get through the first couple levels. It took me a few tries, but I was able to get there eventually, and I think this game is extremely fun. It runs really smooth, it's fast and frantic, the weapons are fun to use, the boss fights are crazy. And yeah, I don't know if this is necessarily the best entry point for the Contra series as someone who hasn't played any of them, but I'm having a really good time with it. I think this game is awesome. I think if you haven't played a Contra game, you can't really go wrong with this. And yeah, for $20, this feels like a pretty solid pickup to me. So yeah, I like this game a lot. I'm really glad that I picked this one up. All right, we're gonna hit up one more store, and that's gonna be Respawn Retro Games in West Bend, Wisconsin, which is a store that I've been to before. I made a whole video about this store, so we're not going to be doing like as quite a deep dive this time as we did in that other video, but we're still going to go check it out and buy a few games. So yeah, let's head on over to Respawn Retro Games. And here we are pulling up to Respawn Retro Games. I don't know why my camera's so shaky here, but anyway, let's get inside and see how it's looking in Respawn Retro Games today. This store is really cool. It's definitely a little small, but I like it a lot. I found some cool stuff in here, and I haven't been here in a while, so I'm excited to check it out, see if they have any new stock today. And we're once again going to keep it real here in the Xbox 360 section. I saw they had a copy of Earth Defense Force: Insect Armageddon. I've never played an Earth Defense Force game in my life, and I've been interested in them for a while. This copy didn't have a manual, but it was only $7, so I think we're going to grab this and check it out. I think this will be a cool one to play. They had a copy of Anarchy Reigns, which I don't know what this is. I feel like this might be kind of a multiplayer thing. Looks like it has single player and multiplayer. Yeah, seems like kind of an interesting thing, but I don't know if I need to grab it today, so maybe another time we'll pick this one up. I saw they had a couple Need for Speed games here, and I'm particularly interested in Need for Speed Shift. I really wanted to play this game back when it came out, but I just never bought it for some reason, so I've never played Need for Speed Shift. It's one that I've been wanting to check out for like 15 years at this point. This copy was Platinum Hits. It didn't have a manual, but again, it was $7, so I was kind of just like, $7 isn't bad. We're going to grab that one too. Call of Duty 2 might not seem like a special game, but I think this is actually the first Xbox 360 game that I ever played on like a Walmart kiosk. And I don't have this one yet. This one also includes a bonus DVD, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we might grab this one too. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what else we can find. And then I also saw they had a copy of The Darkness here. This is one that I've been looking for a while. I mean, I keep seeing it at game stores, and then I just keep passing on it. I just never feel that passionate about picking it up. But I definitely do want The Darkness 1 and 2 on the 360. I used to have the PS3 versions, but I sold them. So yeah, another one that could be a good pickup today, depending on what else we find. Over in the glass case, they had some interesting OG Xbox and Xbox 360 games. They had Beat Down Fist of Vengeance, which I don't have yet. And then on the 360, there was some pretty cool stuff. There was this game Mayhem. They had Resonance of Fate, Fatal Inertia. These are all 360 games that I don't have that look pretty cool. And I do end up grabbing one of these. So yeah, stay tuned for later on the video. I'll show you which one I picked up. I've been enjoying my PS3 more than usual lately. I played through Metal Gear Solid 4 on it, and that just made me, I've just been having some PS3 nostalgia. So I wanted to check these out and see if they had any PS3 games that I don't have. But I feel like 99% of these I already have on the Xbox 360. I've never seen this game, Blades of Time. It was $65, so I'm not going to pick it up. But if you know what Blades of Time is, let me know in the comments, because that seems like it might be kind of interesting. Binary Domain is another one that I don't have on the 360 or the PS3, so that could be a good pickup. I don't know. I don't feel super passionate about it, but yeah, not a ton of PS3 games that I'm dying to pick up today. So let's check out the PS4 section, see if they have anything interesting over there. And yeah, they had a few PS4 games on this little shelf here. I already have most of these, or I'm just not interested in them. That's kind of an underwhelming selection, if I'm being totally honest. I am kind of interested in Steep. I had this on PC and played it. It was pretty fun. And then also Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I love Deus Ex. I would like to own this PS4 copy. But I feel like these I could probably pick them up in a lot or something. I don't need to buy them individually. They had a few more PS4 games over here in this glass case, but yeah, nothing that I really need. A lot of stuff that I already have or I'm just not super interested in. So yeah, we're going to pass on these PS4 games today, but let's head on back to the studio and see what we ended up picking up from Respawn Retro Games. Alrighty, we're back from Respawn Retro Games, and we grabbed 3 games that we're going to talk about. Let's see what we got. Okay, I ended up grabbing this copy of Need for Speed Shift, which is not the best looking copy. Like, it's Platinum Hits. It has this like weird GameSpy advertisement here. And yeah, I think Platinum Hits games on the 360, especially these later ones, like I think from 2009 onward, they're just kind of ugly. They're not great to look at. Yeah, this is a game that I really was interested in buying back when it came out. And I specifically remember Dirt 2 and Need for Speed Shift came out around the same time, and I was like really interested in both of them. I only had enough money to buy one, and I ended up buying Dirt 2, which I think that was the right choice, honestly, because Dirt 2 is like freaking incredible. It's one of my favorite racing games of all time. But ever since then, I've just never got around to playing this. I've always thought it looked really cool. I thought it was interesting that Need for Speed went into more of the like racing sim route as opposed to the like more silly arcadey stuff that they'd been doing before this. And I've played a little bit of this, and it's really cool. I think the like sound design and the sense of speed are really great in this game. And it does feel like more of a sim racer, but it's not like fully in that direction. Like, it doesn't really feel like a Forza Motorsport or a Gran Turismo. Like, it's still a little more arcadey than those games, but definitely more sim-like than earlier Need for Speed games. So I think that balance is like kind of interesting and just makes it a pretty fun, unique racing experience. So yeah, this was a $7 pickup. Not bad. Wish it wasn't Platinum Hits, but I don't really care that much, I guess. I don't know. I think this is fun, and I'm glad that I have it in the collection now. Next up, we got Earth Defense Force, which I took the price off of already. I think it was $6 or $7. And the disc isn't in here because it's in my Xbox 360 because I was playing it, because it's freaking cool and a really fun game. The thing that's really interesting about Earth Defense Force to me right now is that I've also been playing Helldivers 2, and this game is like astonishingly similar to Helldivers 2. Like, it's just dropping you into a big map and there's a bunch of bugs everywhere, and you just kind of get different objectives around this big map, and you're just running around completing objectives and shooting bugs. So I mean, that's basically the exact same thing that you're doing in Helldivers 2. I really like playing as the jetpack trooper in this game. I think that's probably the coolest character to play as, and I like flying around and shooting bugs with a grenade launcher. And yeah, this game, it's just a really simple formula. It's exactly what it sounds like, but it's really, really fun. It's really well made. The Starship Troopers influence is also very apparent in this, which, you know, obviously Helldivers 2 is also very influenced by that. But yeah, I think this game is really fun. I'm really interested in checking out some of the later games in this series, especially ones that came out on the PS4 and Xbox One. I'm really interested to see what those are like. But this feels like a really good entry point to the series if you're curious about it. It was really cheap. I think you could pick them up for pretty cheap on eBay, or like they're pretty commonly found in local game stores. So yeah, this is a solid pickup for sure. If you're on the fence about this one, just know I think it's worth it. I think it's really fun. So yeah. And last but not least, we grabbed this game, Resonance of Fate, for $15. And this one actually is nice and complete. It has a decent manual in there. Let's see, does this have color artwork in it, or is it black and white? It's black and white. Well, that's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. But yeah, I still haven't played this one, so I don't really have any thoughts on it yet. But it looks cool. I hope it's another kind of character action looking game, and I hope it's better than Bullet Witch. It's gotta be better than Bullet Witch, right? If you've played this, let me know. It looks really interesting. I'm hoping I can get to it soon. It says on the back here that it has a gun-driven battle system. So that sounds cool. I don't know. Alrighty, so those are the pickups from Respawn Retro Games. Let's just put everything together here. Let's make a stack of our game store pickups. All right, here's everything I picked up for this video. Yeah, I didn't spend that much money. Again, I don't remember the prices on some of these, but let me crunch some numbers really quick that are probably gonna be wrong. I think we spent like $110, $120 on these after tax and stuff, so that's not bad. I mean, it's a pretty small stack of games, but there's some pretty good stuff in here. Like Bullet Witch is definitely a heavy hitter in terms of price. Contra is like a fairly heavy hitter as well. Resonance of Fate. I would consider all those games like slightly more rare and valuable, I guess, so I'm happy to have them in my collection. And I just like supporting local game stores, you know? I don't always need to be getting amazing deals on stuff. I just like hanging out in retro game stores and buying a couple things. It makes me feel good, it's fun, and it's fun to make videos about it too. So yeah, that's what I'm all about, you know? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I just wanted to keep it really chill and basic this time. I feel like lately in my videos, I've been focused a little more on like getting good deals on stuff, and I just wanted to do another just like fun game collecting video, because that's, at the end of the day, that's my favorite thing to do, is just like go to video game stores and look at stuff. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Here's another video that you might enjoy. If you liked this one, check that out. I would appreciate it. I'm Collector John. We'll see you guys in the next one.